Hi, I wanted to talk about my journey with the breath. So, I grew up in the deep South in Florida, and I grew up around people that smoked a lot of cigarettes and they drank a lot of whiskey and they flew rebel flags and they cussed a lot and they had a lot of conservative opinions. And in general, they weren't breathing. They weren't in their bodies and they were numbing out. They were disembodying. And so I didn't grow up around the breath. I grew up learning those things, learning how to, be a woman in a man's world, essentially. Not a lot of nurturing and mothering, not a lot of soft feminine, a lot of harsh, unhealthy masculine, if I'm honest. And of course, that's a part of me. That is part of the downloads that I was given in this world, is to overcome that and to try to find love for myself and for others and understanding on my journey. And I found the breath after I found yoga. So I found yoga around 15 years ago, I guess, just from going into a class. And there's breath involved in yoga. The teachers often cue breath, you know, relax your jaw and release your pelvic floor and take a deep inhale into your belly. And I just felt embodied for the first time in my life. And that's when the journey with the breath started for me. And then I started on my path with Carol Lampman of Integral Breath Therapy. And I spent, maybe close to 10 years now working with Carol at all different levels from beginner to leadership status with her. And she's still, a fairy godmother in my life. I believe that she is kind of a shaman of the breath, if there was a thing. And she's this conservative white lady, to be honest, in her 80s. But um, so I could relate to her, right? Because that's exactly where I came from. But what she does have is a love of the breath. And any time in my life, I've been through so much with her in integrating my entire childhood. Um, and working through, what type of work I want to do in the world, who I see myself as now and in the future. And all of it has been riding the breath with her. She's always directing me back to myself, back to my breath. And that's why I share it, because it's been the best teaching of my life. And it is what I came in with, right? I took my first breath when I landed here on the planet out of my mother's womb, and it will be one of the last things that goes before I leave. And, it really has helped me stay present and integrate, my whole life story, what I've been through, those harsh times in the deep South with people that didn't love themselves and didn't love others and didn't love the world, this planet, to forging out on my own and finding out for myself how I want to show up in this world, how I want to be human. And that's why I can't not share the breath. I want to not share it because I want to just stay in the forest and breathe and be by myself. But there's a deeper calling that knocks on my heart that says people need to breathe. They need to breathe their heart open and they need to come back to what makes them human, their inspiration for life, for being on this planet. Not all the systems we're in and all the masks we have to wear to survive in these systems, but this simple act of breathing consciously and breathing with intention that makes us human. And we share this with all the other beings on the planet, right? Plants need oxygen. Our dogs need to breathe, and you can watch them use their breath to regulate their nervous system. So that's a little bit of my story with the breath. And I have a lot more to say about that. But for now, I'll leave it there. And if you want to experience some of what I'm sharing, then join us this Sunday for the Inspired Breath, where we will try to open our hearts using our breath and let that infiltrate into our homes, into our communities, and into the wider world. I hope to see you.